Now that it seems that this endless winter is finally ending, a winter where I hoped for bustling Christmas markets, steaming mugs of rum-seasoned hot chocolate and the reassuring crackle of bonfires, and what I actually got was YouTube wormholes and cabin fever, I could do with a good laugh, and I assume that you could too. So this is what this video is about. Also, and I know that karma is a load of old rot, but if you subscribe, that would be great. I mean, think of the karma. Games can be funny. And in a world of moronic social media divisions, endless forest fires, floods, pandemics, malignant narcissism and me, sometimes the antidote to having your head spin on your shoulders at 1,000 revolutions per minute and fly off into space is the simple release of a bloody good laugh. Oh, and some booze and a bottle of poppers and a gigantic pilot. I am so happy that Rob Daviau understood his genre here. I am so happy that this game didn't become some grimdark, ultra-violent edgelord's wet dream. This game is Plan 9 from outer space, it is Astro Zombies, it is Walk Among Us from the Misfits. It is campy and cheesy to its very bones. The blood looks like ketchup, the monsters are clearly blokes in suits, and the screams just go on just a little too long. This game is the perfect evocation of drive-in horror, and that is funny in and of itself, but the real humour in this game comes if you truly invest in it and follow its rules to the letter. The game will ask you to invent chants and rituals. It will ask you to divest yourself of all of that false maturity and act like a moron. And this is so much fun. This game becomes yours as it develops, and every time you return to the table, you are returning to more and more layers of absurdity that get progressively sillier, and it is these layers of silliness that make Betrayal Legacy so damn funny. This game makes me dreadfully sad at the moment, because it's simply a wonderful game to play in a pub. Remember those? No, neither do I. Skull feels like a classic. It feels like it's been around for centuries. You can imagine stinking brigands sitting around tavern tables having a few rounds of Skull before it's time to kick the table over and start stabbing. It's just so robust. It works at any time with any group. What makes Skull so funny, though, is that it makes fools of us all. It makes us hubristic. We overestimate our ability to read others and viciously underestimate the deviousness of the other people around the table. The laughter in this game is pure schadenfreude. When you look straight into someone's eyes and push them to bid that one extra that you know they'll never make, and they tumble on the first flip. Now that is funny. This one is more of a slow burn. Last Will is a beautifully wrought Eurogame that presents you with the components for an exquisitely fabricated engine, then leaves you to build it. The overall premise of the game is amusing, as it upends the usual Eurogame trope of trying to amass as much as possible. But this is nothing more than a giggle as the rules are being explained to you. The real joy of this game, and the real humour happens when players start to make connections. Their eyes widen as they realise that they're paying the extra £2 to take their horse to the restaurant or dumping their dog in the opera box. It is from these player-instigated combinations that the humour arises. You don't guffaw playing this game, but a joyous, subtle humour emerges as you play, and that is perfect for someone who is sophisticated as what I am. This game had to be in here. This is my second favourite game of all time, and, like Skull, is a game that is almost certain to go down well with any group at any time. This game is completely snob-proof, believe me, I know. In every phase of this game there are laughs. There are stupid bids, there is winning a trick on a red 2 and having to spend the rest of the round avoiding tricks while having a pirate nestling in your hand. Numbers are hilarious in this game. There is no greater joy than seeing a 3-figure number with a minus sign in front of it, even if that number is in the column with your name at the top. Skull King is a game of skill and dunderheadedness, of bravado and strategy, and it's just bursting with the kind of moments that result in the whole table exploding in peals of laughter. Even the victim. The reason this game works so well is because it's so funny. From any angle, this game is brilliant. Buy this, play this, laugh. I don't put numbers next to these picks. There isn't supposed to be an order. These games are to be taken equally. Except Time's Up. This is a classic parlour game of the variety where people are compelled to do ludicrous things and others gleefully roll around at how uncomfortable they are. Time's Up is the ultimate guessing game, where every round you have to go to sillier levels to ensure your group understands you. The brilliant thing about Time's Up, though, is that every play is owned by the group that plays it. You develop your own argot, your own lexicon of sounds and gestures that make this play of the game uniquely yours. There is no game that does emergence better than Time's Up. There is a real joy in knowing what sticking your tongue out means, or that growl that really has nothing to do with the word being guessed, but it's been inextricably linked by circumstance. On a superficial level, this is another game propelled by Schadenfreude. But on a more profound level, the laughs that come from the exhilaration of creating a new language, a language that lasts for one night or even just half an hour. You laugh unrestrainedly at the raw creative capabilities of the human animal, and it's ecstatic. So there we are. What? What have I missed? What, you mean I've missed the game out where everyone draws I can't believe I almost forgot about this one. Can you draw? If the answer is no, then you are perfect for this game. There really is something wonderful in how human beings can twist and bend and distort things simply by shooting them through the chicane of their own perception. We take a fairly simple set of facts, put them through the ripples of our brain, and they come out of the other end stretched, like those people in that Junji Ito story. Rather than distended limbs, though, in Telestrations, what comes out the other end is usually a crude drawing of a cock. Telestrations is so funny every time, even though it's a mass-market game, even though everyone knows it, and even though I shouldn't trouble myself with such ephemera, I can't help but be drawn to this game. Every time I play it, I guffaw. Every time I play it, my thoughts are dragged into the gutter. And the wonderful thing is that everyone else's are too. This is a game that can be tailored to your group, and if you happen to be people who are more sophisticated than my friends are, you can play that version. If you want. It just won't be as funny as ours, though. So finally, we come to the end. Choose any one of these games and you will have a wonderful night bulging with laughter. You'll go home with a head full of serotonin. Thank you so much for watching, and you can subscribe if you want. And if you find these videos entertaining or valuable or worthwhile in any way, you can always support the show on Patreon. All the links are below.